Was taught when I was young that I should take pride in what I did. And it seemed that that was pretty easy when all I had was a pickup, a steer, a few hogs, things like that. Just life was kind of simple. But there's something about that pride that is, when it's in a healthy state, it's a wonderful thing. You can really take care of things. You can really be attentive to it. That's great. But that pride has a tendency to cause you to focus too much on self, because you start looking at what you've done, and that begins to swell you up, and so that causes other people to pay attention to you. It feeds that more, and so you want more, and so you, like a drug, try to draw more attention to yourself. This is what we're looking at today. Is we are looking at the fall of Lucifer, and the root of the whole thing is pride. The verse that we find here that is referenced in the devotional is in Isaiah 14, and it says this: "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend unto heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will set upon the mount of the congregation. In the sides of the north I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet shall thou be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit." So you see 5 times here, the enemy, Lucifer, is saying, I will, I will, I will. So what's his focus? Well, apparently his focus is I, himself. He's got eye trouble. So what's the response? I had mentioned Ezekiel 28 in the previous video, and I want to reference this. This is God's response to Satan's I wills. He says in verse 16, the second part, "I will cast thee as a profane out of the mountain of God. I will destroy thee." Then in verse 17, it says, "I will cast thee to thy ground. I will lay thee before thy kings." Then down in 18, "I will bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. I shall devour thee. I will bring thee to ashes." So the response to Lucifer's 5 I wills are God's 6 I wills over in Ezekiel 28. And who do you think is going to have the last say? Absolutely. God's going to have the last say. C.S. Lewis has an antidote for this issue of pride, and I love this. The very first thing is gratitude. Well, if I would have been grateful for what I had, I wouldn't have sought to get more, that I might get more attention. If I'd have just been really grateful for what I had. Years ago, I began to ask the Lord in prayer, help me to want what I have and not what I don't have. And that was just an amazing prayer that God answered. It's one of those things that you got to continue to focus on so that you can keep your sights set. And it's amazing the things that we can be content with. Because once you have God, all the rest of it, is just kind of icing on the cake. The next thing he says is to be a servant. Well, this makes sense. If you're thankful for what you have and you get your eyes off yourself and you get your eyes on others, now you are situated more to be like Christ than you ever were before, because you are loving and you are doing what he did when he was here. And the last thing is just seek to enjoy life. One thing about pride is because it's really sets you up for competition, you're always competing. And wherever you are right now is not enough. You've got to get to the next rung. If you are experiencing gratitude in your life, if you're a servant to others, now your focus is on God, thanking God for what he's given you, looking at other people. Now you have opportunity to really enjoy life. So I would encourage you to take an assessment of your life. If you need to refocus so that that focus is solely on God and actually engaged in the things that He's asked us to do that today. Then you can experience true joy in your life. May God bless you, and keep looking up.